Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. My name's Joni Ogg, and on behalf of TravelProfessionalNews.com, Home-Based TravelAgent.com, and FindAHostTravelAgency.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar, and thank you all for being here today. We're thrilled to welcome our speaker, David Mayhofer, with the Vice President of Sales and Engagement at Travel Planners International, also known as TPI. And Dave is a great guy, and he's a seasoned professional with over 2 decades of experience in the travel industry. But prior to joining TPI, he held several key positions at renowned companies such as Celebrity Cruises, Colette Vacations, and Enterprise Rent-A-Car, where he excelled in sales, account management, and leadership roles. He's got a proven track record of leadership, building and maintaining really strong relationships, prospecting new business opportunities, and always delivering engaging presentations and trainings. We're always so happy to have him with us here today. He's got a bachelor's degree in recreation and leisure services management from East Stroudsburg University of Pennsylvania, and he brings a unique blend of industry expertise and educational qualifications to his role at TPI. Now, today's webinar topic is Standing Out in 2025. Two very lucky attendees are going to each win a 30-minute consultation with Dave, so be sure to listen carefully for your chance to win that. And additionally, one more lucky attendee is going to win a $50 Amazon gift card, courtesy of us here at Travel Professional News. So just remember that you're all muted. We always welcome your questions. You can put those in the questions area that you see on the right-hand side of your screen at any time during the presentation. Kind of when it hits you, write it down, and then we will go ahead and answer those questions after Dave is all finished with his presentation to you. So when it's all over, we'll do the questions, we'll do the prizes, and until then, I'm going to hand this microphone over to my friend Dave so he can get started. Welcome, Dave.
Hey, Joni, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. Thank you. I hope you are too.
I am. I always laugh to myself when, and you had mentioned a little bit of my bio and background and stuff. And when I get in conversations about my college degree, and I don't know for those of you who are tuned in who heard, and I'll repeat it at the possibility of embarrassing myself, but yes, my college degree is in recreation and leisure.
I liked it. No, I mean, well, there is such a thing as majoring in recreation and leisure, isn't there? Because
No, of course there is. Of
oh my
course
God,
there is.
yeah.
I just have every time I hear it, I have flashbacks of when I officially announced to my parents what I wanted to do with my life, and it was recreation and leisure. So
I love it. I love it.
it's all good. It's all good, Joni. Should we get started?
Absolutely. We're anxious to see what you have to say today.
All righty. Well, thanks again, Joni, and thanks again for everybody who has tuned in for today. And as we, are kicking off 2025, no better time to discuss and share with you several, if not many, examples of how you can stand out and how your business can stand out this year. And sometimes people say, well, I do this, I do that, and there are certain things that you feel you do very well with, or certain ways that you currently stand out. But if you think about it, right, how many thousands and thousands and thousands of travel advisors are there out there, travel agencies that are out there who are all looking to do the same thing and accomplish the same goal, and that is book that next customer on a future vacation. So today, let's get after it. Let's talk a little bit about how you and your business can stand out. It all starts off with the five senses, okay? When you really think about it, regarding you, yourself, your business, your customers, the exchange, the back and forth, if you think about it, right? What are they seeing? What are you seeing? That touch, feel. What are you saying that is going to impact the customer's decision? That's where we get into hearing and listening. And then, of course, the taste, the smells, the things like that. And I share, you laugh a little bit about that great picture of somebody's nose there, the cartoon nose. But when you really think about all of these ways that we impact a customer's decision throughout all of the different interactions you have with them, every sense will be forecast, or should I say broadcast in a way, in a very positive light, a very negative light, in a questionable light, whatever it may be. It all starts with the five senses. So I love, but I hate this image here. And everyone hopefully sees the empty room with the same exact collapsible, foldable chair, one after the other, after the other, after the other, right? Maybe this is a college auditorium. Maybe they are setting up in some kind of academy. I don't know exactly where this picture is from, but I love it because I truly feel it demonstrates, what somebody might be feeling, what they might be seeing, and all of those things that go into, standing out, or should I say not standing out, right? Imagine yourself walking into this room by yourself and having a seat, right? How would that make you feel? A huge empty room, looking around at the same old chair, same design, the same exact pattern, if you will, right? You're really, this to me, when I look at this photo, it's boring, it's plain, it's bland. Think about all those descriptors that are there, but this is what we want to work against. This is what we want to push aside to dive into something that's going to help you and your business stand out. Be so good they can't ignore you, okay? And we're going to get into good stuff in just a little bit, but to kind of really highlight what we're looking to accomplish here, be so good they can't ignore you. From one of my favorite comedians of all time, Steve Martin. Be so good they can't ignore you. Think about this, and as we walk through today's presentation, think about the different parts of your business, the various interactions you have with your customers, and everything you do, you should go into with the goal of being so good that customer will not and cannot ignore you. Okay, time to get your phones out and take a snapshot of this screen. Take a screenshot, take a look here, okay? And this is something that we use with our advisors, with some of our additional educational opportunities and what we do. This is your Do You Stand Out checklist. The Do You Stand Out checklist, okay? And I'm gonna walk us through not this entire list, okay? Because we, the way I am, I can go through all day talking about this stuff. I get very excited. But we're gonna walk through some of these items to help you stand out. As I quick glance at this, and this is a worksheet that we provide some of our advisors. But as you look at this, right, there's certain things like, I'll jump to the bottom first. Towards that area of professional standard, or midway, professional standards and relationships, right? Think about the trade events you go to. Think about networking opportunities, cruise nights, Zooms, right? Virtual things. Those times when you're in front of an audience of potential customers, potential partners, whatever it might be. But what are you doing to leave an impact? A while back, I used to work on cruise ships. Actually, one of my first jobs out of college, I worked on board cruise ships, and one of the most memorable jobs, one of the greatest experiences I've had ever in my life. But I met a wide variety of people from all over the world. So many people, you can't remember every single one of them, but I met a lot of great people, and I have some really good friends from there. But this is, that's an example of somebody I met. Right? And the person, one of the people I met, his name was Cool Cat Cameron. That's right. Cool Cat Cameron. Like the pet, the animal. Joni, have you ever met Cool Cat Cameron?
No, I don't think I have.
Well, you might, because you know what? This guy, Cool Cat Cameron, is apparently going to be on a Netflix special next year, from what I understand. I keep in touch with him. So not only, right, that name, Cool Cat Cameron, right? That to me, and this is maybe a little bit of an extreme example, but Cool Cat Cameron, we worked with the kids club on board. We had nicknames from the kids and all this stuff, but he went around the ship, not only to kids, but to adults, and introduced himself as Cool Cat Cameron. And his personality matched the name. He was this suave guy. He used to wear all these wristbands and funky hats, and he would walk almost with a glide. Very smooth individual. You could never forget this guy if you've met him maybe even once. But I use this as an example because he stood out. If I speak to any of my old colleagues, they knew him, they remember him. They will always remember him because of his name, his personality, his style, and everything that he did. Now, we're in a little bit, we're going to jump into a couple things that go into, how you stand out, what you're comfortable doing to stand out, and things like that. Cool Cat Cameron, though, that was who he was, and that was his own personal style to make himself memorable and stand out, of course. Another thing on this list here, and I know there's a lot of stuff on here, so I don't want to sit on it for too long, but another thing on this one, as far as going back to trade shows and networking events, like, you don't want to be a wallflower, right? You many times you might pay good money to go to these events. You're traveling, and now you have an opportunity to meet people, and most importantly, potential clients. And what are you doing? What are you saying? How are you leaving that impression on them and that impact? So 2 general rules, okay? When we're talking about standing out, and as we walk through this, everybody, again, continue to think about, your own experiences, what you deal with on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, annually, all that good stuff, and think about how you can apply these things to your business. One of 2 very important rules, know who your audience is. Know who your audience is. Some people, and I can't believe I'm saying his name this many times, but the guy I worked with on cruise ships, Cool Cat Cameron, for some people, he wasn't their cup of tea. He was a little bit over the top. He was a bit too much. That was one of, with him, and we always joked around with him. We said, that's one of your downfalls, Cool Cat. You're always on, and you are who you are, and be true to yourself. So if that's you, be you. Be proud of it. But if you're looking at this in regards to sales, in regards to running a business and looking to attract as many customers as possible, right? You got to think about these things, and you got to make sure you're addressing the audience the way they may want to be addressed. You're not going to, wear funny costumes, or do certain things that might not be, might not be looked at most favorably in the eyes of a certain audience. But you may want to do something, fun and more engaging with an audience that's more outgoing, right? It's just a matter of knowing your audience. And then the other rule, and I touched on this, but just don't be that guy, right? We all know somebody who, no matter what, when they walk in that room, everybody rolls their eyes, everybody puts their head down or looks the other way, a guy or girl, whoever it is. But we all know those people, right? So I always, go into my interactions, my meetings, the events that I go to. You don't want to be remembered for the wrong reasons, and you don't want to be that guy. First impressions, okay. We touched a little bit about, knowing your audience, and making sure you're doing what you need to do to catch their attention. But you can never forget about your first impressions. What are you doing to set yourself up for a good one, to make that good first impression and to stand out, right? My favorite word in this slide is, aside from the word first impression, but is design. Design is how you make your first impression with your consumers. design, be intentional. Think about this, right? And sometimes people say, I am who I am, I wing it, and I do my thing. But I would care to guess that, and I've been there. Where sometimes I decided to wing it, to figure, I'm good enough. I could just figure it out as I go along. And I had no, talk track. I did not, pinpoint any one thing that would truly help myself stand out. And unfortunately, I didn't get the sale those times. So design and be intentional regarding your first impressions. Find a way that you could do it in your own style where they're going to remember you. Okay? And think about what you're going to do. For me, one of those things, especially, over time when I jumped into the world of sales and business and, engaging with people and everything that I was doing, over time, and this is like sales 101 is, but building that personal connection, right? Build that personal connection with somebody. And now this is that subtle way of standing out, especially as many things in this world have become so impersonal. We need to find ways to keep it personal. And that's one of the things for me. And I started to say, for me, I always make an attempt to connect with somebody personally. And even over the course of that first interaction, first impression, is find a way, to interject with some personal questions and things that obviously at a certain comfort level with that person, but find a way to connect with them on a human level versus just an interaction, right? So here you see my nice photo collection there up on the wall, right? The frames. So a few things here. And for me, as you could probably tell, a little bit of a ham. I don't mind a microphone in my hand. I don't mind being on a stage or in front of a camera. But that's me, right? That's how I am. Some people don't have that comfort level. That's just not their thing. And you know what? That's okay. We all need to find our ways to stand out. A few of the pictures that I've shared here, first and foremost for me, and most importantly, that fun photo on the right-hand side of me and two of our TPI advisors. We've now it's a running joke where every time we get together at our conference, we put together a fake pose like we are laughing at the world's funniest joke. And so now, yes, that's a posed picture. We are not really laughing. We are frozen like statues, and we have somebody take the photo, and now it's a running joke. We have about 4 of these now floating out there. But I share this with you, not to say, okay, this is how I stand out, but it's more the personal connection that I've built with some of our advisors, right? The advisors that I work with, they are my customers. They are the customers of Travel Planners International. We need to make sure we're developing relationships with them and we're satisfying everything that they are looking to do with their business and the support they need. But again, this is a genuine connection I have with them. This is a fun moment. Now we share it about once a year. And in any case, that's a little bit of insight as far as some of the connections that I build. And then the other one on the left-hand side, you see me holding a microphone with a sports coat on, but then a nice pair of camo cargo shorts. And you don't see them, but I had sandals and socks, dress socks on. This was the very first presentation I did back when I was a sales manager, one of the first presentations I did right after COVID. So people were starting to meet again, conferences, trainings were happening, people were face-to-face. And I went ahead and was trying to think of a fun twist I could put on my presentation. So what did I do? I walked out from behind stage dressed like that. And I did it, yes, to get a laugh and have some fun with it, but also to stand out, right? Everybody else was coming out with their suits on, traditional wear. Everybody looking good, looking professional and everything, but I wanted to do something to make the kind of that punch in the, not a punch in the stomach, yeah, that pat on the back punch in the stomach, whatever you call it, but to stand out a bit. And to this day, I have advisors who come to me saying, oh my gosh, that was one of the funniest things they've seen. And it really helped kind of, put some smiles on their faces when we were coming out of such a negative time, right? So these are things I do. I will also, before we move forward, I'll say this. If you're not funny, don't try to be funny, right? If you're not quiet, don't try to be quiet, right? If you're not a loud person, don't try to be loud. Basically be yourself. Be yourself, be genuine, and find ways to utilize your personality to stand out. Okay. So we've spoken quite a bit as far as first impressions, standing out, visually, maybe what people are hearing and seeing when you're in front of a customer, when you're in front of a group of people. Let's think about this though. How are you standing out in your written communication when you are maybe emailing back and forth with customers or clients? When you're drafting a proposal, maybe it's your email signature. Maybe it's a text message to clients who prefer to converse with you via text. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, these types of things. Yes, we use images. People are seeing things, but think about the words you're using, what you're writing down, what it looks like. These are all critical to help yourself stand out every step along the way. I love this, and this example is more towards like the negative side of things than saying, hey, this is what you should do. This is what you should not do. And for me, I look at this, right? We see here, a business card, if you will, possibly what somebody's signature may look like. And I don't think there's a John Smith at HubSpot with a phone number of 111-222-3333. But long story short, right? This person, look at their job title. Marketing manager. Marketing manager. I don't know about you, but when I think about somebody in the world of marketing, I think of somebody creative. I think of somebody whose main job is to catch people's attention, right? Catch people's attention. You're marketing. It's a very basic definition, but you get my point. Marketing managers' business cards should never look so plain, in my opinion. You need to look, it needs to look professional. It needs to look good and clean. But there's so much more that, marketing professionals can do and all of us can do when it comes to your simple business cards, right? Simple business cards. Here's 5 great points and pieces of advice for your business card. And think about it. If you're sitting there at your desk and you have a stack of business cards next to you, your own business card, take it out. Take a look right now as we speak to this slide. What is the goal of your business card, right? The goal of your business card, well, what it should be, is to catch people's attention and to get somebody that will want to call you and contact you and email you. They want, you want that person to see that business card and say, that is somebody that I want to reach out to. Joni, I want to call Joni. Whatever your name is, whoever you are, you want this business card to catch people's attention. Always want to keep it easy on the eyes and make sure those color patterns, that it's clean. And you don't want people to pick it up or take a look and look away or throw it out. Make sure it's clear, legible contact information, right? I've seen people with all crazy fonts and the different text styles that, you can barely read what their name is. You can't make out if it's a 0 or an 8 in the phone number, right? I'm sure we've all seen those before, but take a look at your own business card. Is it clear and legible? Shape and size matter. Shape and size matter. Large majority of business cards are what shape? They are square. They are standard, right? They are rectangular. They are standard. Think about that. What does your business card say? Is it the same to say to the customer just by looking at it before even reading it? Is it, when consumers go to we just recently here, I'm up here in New York, right? You have the New York Times travel show. There's thousands and thousands of people walking through there and possibly collecting cards of different agencies, suppliers, whatever it might be. When they go home, do they have a stack of 100 business cards that are all the same exact size? Some of those that stand out. Maybe it's a triangle. Woo, God forbid you change it from a rectangle. Maybe it's a larger rectangle. Maybe it's an octagon, a circle, a larger rectangle. I don't know. You do what you feel is best, but think about it. Is that something you want to do to change things up a little bit, catch people's attention? The paper quality, right? The card stock. Is yours the same old flimsy piece of paper? Or are you utilizing something that's a little bit thicker, a little bit better quality so it stands out? And then using both sides, right? I think about when I've heard this over the years, and I think about, the utilization of both sides of a business card. The one thing that I always think back to regarding the importance of having something on both sides is if you were to, and I don't encourage people to do this as far as just throwing business cards down on a table or somewhere else where you're expecting people to pick them up, but having something on both sides, you want something that's going to catch people's attention. So maybe it's your logo on one side and then your contact information on the other side. Maybe there's some really great images on one side and again your business information and contact on the other side. But using both sides at least catches people's attention both ways or wherever it might be, because now there's not a chance that somebody's not looking at a blank business card. Meanwhile, all the juicy stuff, all the good stuff is on the other side. So, sorry, that was my business card rant for the day. Okay. The best way to stand out with your emails. Let's talk about emails. And for me, I am someone that I email the way I speak. So many of times as I email someone, one of our advisors, whoever it may be, everything that I am saying in my head just blurps out onto my email, into the email. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I do have to read it over once or twice just to make sure that it's clean, professional, friendly, and most importantly for me, it's genuine. For me, I want to make sure that it's coming from Dave and not just some robot. Or for that matter, a cookie cutter and what now could be referred to as a chat GPT generated email or AI generated email and all those wonderful tools that are out there. And listen, I get it. I get it. Sometimes we don't know how to respond to a customer. Sometimes, you can't get the words out, so you need a little bit of help, and that's fine. I just strongly encourage everyone, make it your own. Make it your own. And I can tell nowadays, when I receive an email that's been written by AI and ChatGPT and all those tools, as soon as I read it, within 10, 15 seconds, I already know somebody did not really think it through. They let somebody else do the work and a computer do the work. So that second paragraph there, right? So basically, the top paragraph is Dave speaking his mind and coming across as genuine as I can, right? Maybe not the cleanest, but it is me, and hopefully it gets the message across. The second paragraph, let's read it. I'm going to read it. Travel professionals can stand out in emails by personalizing their message with tailored recommendations and a warm, approachable tone that showcases their expertise and genuine passion for helping clients create memorable experiences. Wow, right? Wow, that is professional, that is clean, that is clear. But for me, that is not genuine. That's for me, right? That is not genuine Dave speaking from his heart. And this is me. This is my approach. It's what I do. But I share this with you. Moral of the story here. Be yourself. Be genuine. Don't be robotic. But find your way to stand out in your written communication. Gosh, we can go down this rabbit hole, right? Written communication. Proposals for clients, right? You have a potential group and they say, okay, Please send over what you have regarding the itinerary, the pricing, what you're going to include for my clients. What do I get out of it if it's a group leader? All that good stuff, right? Proposals, documents, right? Travel documents, agendas, itineraries. The list goes on and on and on. With these types of things, you need to make sure it's clear. You need to make sure all the details are there, and of course, accurate information, numbers, and everything that you're looking at. But you need to find your way to stand out here. Whether it's providing your own little spin on certain segments of the documents, of the actual paperwork you're sending them, or of course e-docs or whatever it might be. Again, these are just small suggestions. And maybe you have something, if it's Dave's Travel, I'm going to send them my proposal that I utilize, my form proposal, just to make sure they have everything they need. But then in there, I'm also going to say, and by the way, here's a few, here's Dave's top 3 tips as you go through this proposal. If it's travel documents, consider having, maybe it's your own personalized Plan B section. When I say Plan B, maybe it's some emergency phone numbers. Maybe it's, other ways, if you lose your passport, do this, and then fill in the blank. Whatever it might be, but something to kind of personalize it, customize it, make sure that those customers know you've gone above and beyond and you're doing those things to really stand out. Follow-up. This for me is and it's all important, but this to me is one of the most important aspects of it, right? You have, the customer is booked. They go on that vacation or that trip, whatever it might be, but what are you doing to win them over the next time, right? And here's just 5 suggestions, 5 things that you could possibly do to keep top of mind for the clients. A custom vacation recap email, and I say custom, right? You want something that's okay, great, welcome back from your trip to Costa Rica. I just wanted to send you this recap of everything that you experienced and what a joy it was in helping you plan that trip to Costa Rica. And maybe right there you have a great photo of, Mr. and Mrs. Smith as they were taking surfing lessons that they sent to you while they were in Costa Rica. Something like that, a custom vacation recap email. Send a postcard from their destination. How cool is that? Mr. and Mrs. Smith just got back from Costa Rica, and when they get home, they have a postcard from you that looks like it's from Costa Rica. Whoa, my head's exploding with that one. But pretty cool. Not that you're going to sit there and tell them that you were in Costa Rica. Also, that's not the point. The point being that you took the time to find a postcard from Costa Rica, and maybe you're in Florida, California, Nebraska, New York. But again, standing out, putting a cute little message on there. I had such a great time planning your trip to Costa Rica. I just had to send you this postcard. Can't wait to hear all about it. Give me a call when you come back. Whatever it might be, right? Vacation memory boxes. I'll get to that in a moment. Special offers for the next trip, right? This is, to me, it's a little blah, 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 but, you want to maybe dangle that carrot in front of them. Social media shout outs or share their travel photos. Obviously, you want, you may need to ask for their permission or may prefer to ask for their permission, but giving them a shout out. Mr. and Ms. Smith, I had such an amazing time planning your vacation. I love this photo of, you standing in front of the volcano, and think about you every time now I hear of the movie Joe versus the volcano. I don't know, but something like that with social media shout outs, those can go a long way. A couple of real world examples from one of our top selling advisors here at TPI. She does this cool little thing. I say little thing where clients who book a certain number of vacations at certain sales amounts and revenue amounts, she welcomes them to her travel club, and it sends them the appreciation pin from her agency. Her agency is called Let You Travel. It's fabulous. I absolutely love this. But she sends this appreciation pin to give them that sense of belonging, that sense of membership, sense of accomplishment and gratitude, really, regarding this pin. And then on the right-hand side, it's basically, this was a happy birthday trip recap and photo collage and spiral book there that you see on the right-hand side of somebody's birthday trip back in December some years ago. But this advisor does things like this to really add a personal touch and to stand out versus some of these other agencies that are out there. Okay, this is a fun little one too that I've done in the past myself. I say, and this is just an example, but you know how very popular, for many people, not all, but Christmas cards, right? Sending Christmas cards out. Right? It's been an annual tradition for years and years and years for many people. But I challenge you, what about maybe later in 2025, you're not going to send Christmas cards to your clients. Maybe you're going to send Thanksgiving cards, and now you're going to be the first one to send that personal holiday type of card to somebody, right? If Thanksgiving isn't your thing, if Christmas isn't your thing, whatever it might be, St. Patrick's Day card, right? Mother's Day cards, Father's Day cards, whatever it may be, but something that's going to make you stand out that no one else is really doing. Snail mail is a thing of the past, but the nice thing is it's still a way to stand out if you do it right. It all comes back to the Do You Stand Out checklist and really going through every touch point you have with your customers and every opportunity that you do have to stand out. Again, if you didn't get it before, feel free to take a screenshot, take your phone out, check this out as far as the Do You Stand Out checklist. I really, really hope a lot of what I shared with you today sparks some ideas, hopefully provides you some motivation to look at your business from point A to point Z regarding your customer interactions and everything that goes into making a sale, maintaining that sale, and ultimately getting another sale down the road. So much we can do, so little time, right? And creativity comes easier to some than it does to others, and that's okay. Some people are funny and some people are not, and that's okay. It's just a matter of finding your own way to do all of these things to ultimately stand out here in 2025. So with that said, Joni, that really wraps up all that I had to share. Like I said, I go on and on and on about this stuff because I'm so passionate about being genuine, but also finding ways to stand out when you're doing your business. So thank you, Joni, and thank you everybody who tuned in.
Oh, thank you so much, Dave. That's awesome. You always have such a great presentation, and you share your ideas, and you don't push them, you share them in such a great way. And so many people have written in, thank you, great inspiration, thank you for your ideas, thank you, it's so informative. So I don't know if we have any actual questions, because I think what you did more today was you made people think about what they can do differently, so they're going to have to digest it. It's more about what you've shared has just opened up a lot of ideas, I think. I'm sure people agree with me on that. It certainly did for me. So we don't have a lot of questions unless somebody wants to throw one in. If not, then we'll go ahead. Oh, wait. Someone's asking, can we get a copy of the steps?
Yeah, I mean, oh gosh, I don't have my email
I don't
up
see
on the
your
screen.
email. I was going to ask you to share that because I don't see it there.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say it. I'll say it 3 times so everybody can get it. Ready? I'll give you the easy version. You ready?
Ready.
Okay. Here you go, everybody. Feel free to write this down. And that I broke one of my own rules. I didn't even have my email on the screen. Okay. Here's my email address. Dave M. Right? Dave and then my last initial M at tpionline.com. So it's Dave M at tpionline.com. Dave M at tpionline.com. Yep, Dave M at tpionline.com.
Okay, cool. I think we've all got it by now. That's great.
Yeah.
So somebody did have a question. is one. I do have one question for you, Dave, and then we'll go to the prizes. They said, what do you think about a QR code on the business card?
I'm so glad somebody asked that. So I say it can be a good idea. I would almost try it out. Meaning, the next time you're printing cards, have a set with the QR code, have a set without the QR code. Now I say that because I'm big into trying to avoid barriers to contact. And when I say that, right, when somebody scans a QR code, where is that taking them to? Is it taking them simply to your contact information, or is it taking them to your website? What are they seeing? Excuse me. What are they seeing when they scan the QR code? And are you giving them too much information where they're not going to want to call or email you? Does that make sense, Joni?
It does to me. Yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
kind of takes away the personal side of it a little bit. I mean, I think it's not, I'm not saying it's a bad idea because it certainly is efficient, and a great
Yep.
way. And, some of the generations are going to want that, depending on who you sell to. But I do
Yep.
agree that it can be, does sometimes make you feel a little impersonal, if that makes sense. I mean, we used to think you had to call when you didn't even have emails back in the day, and so you actually had to talk to someone, and there was that, and then there was email, which took out some of the personal side. So this is just maybe one more thing that kind of maybe takes a little personal out of it. I don't know, maybe just me.
Yeah, and I remember, so QR codes, when they first became very popular, maybe this was a couple of years ago, a few years ago, QR codes kind of burst onto the scene. And I felt like, I would go to travel shows, I'd be at events and different things. And I felt like everywhere I turned or looked, it was QR code, QR code, QR code. And the funny thing was, a large majority of people were not even scanning QR codes. They were speaking to people. They were engaging. So that's where I was a little bit of a head scratcher. Like, okay, where are these QR codes? Where is this going to go? So I think they faded out a little bit, but with that said, they did recently come back. From when I speak to some of our marketing people and those that are really in the know regarding, what the best things are regarding the marketing your business. So yeah, I think my final advice on that is, if you're thinking QR codes might be the way to go, if your audience, right, we talked about knowing your audience. If your audience is a younger generation they're stuck to those iPhones, you know what? Try the QR codes. Just make sure that it's going to take them to a place that will engage them and that will ultimately have them book a trip or call you,
Yeah, I agree. So somebody else has a question, and it's a really good question. I have a little bit of an answer for them, and I'm going to let you take it as well. They're asking about questionnaires on a website. So, when you get to a website and you really can't see much until you answer the questions, does that turn people off? Possibly, or extensive fill in the blanks on a website. And my answer to that would be that you might want to consider, if you do something like that, encouraging someone to fill things out and to give them something as a thank you for that. So, today we can write a book with, I hate to say, AI can write the book, but they can. And in like 2 seconds, with any kind of topic and travel you can imagine. And what if you had a little freebie type thing that you had, where once somebody filled it out, you say, get your you know, free cruise ebook or something, whatever it is that you've come up with, or packing list ebook. That might be one way. And maybe, Dave, you've got another idea.
Yeah, so that's another thing too, is right. If you're considering that the online questionnaire, some advisors, and I hate calling it this, but they call it like an intake form. Because when I hear the word intake form or those words, I think of like a doctor's office and something that might not be so pleasurable. But I do get the premise of it is to, a qualifying form, see what the potential customer will want a cruise or a tour or whatever it is. So my thoughts on the online questionnaire is think about it from your own point of view regarding whenever you're asked to fill out a form. You know, coincidentally, my wife last night or the other day was filling out a form for one of our my daughter's doctor's appointment, and she was probably looking at her phone filling out the form for about 20 minutes, it felt like, with all the questions, right? So thinking back to or thinking of, you know, if you're going to try out that survey and that initial form for clients to fill out, think about it from your own point of view. I say keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it, you know, engaging with them too, right? You're going to want them to fill out every single box that's on there so that it's going to give you the information you need to reach back out to them, to get working on that proposal, whatever it may be. So I would say, you know, yes, it's a good tool, but just be careful with what you're doing and be very intentional with the questions you're asking.
Good suggestion. Great suggestion. All right. So first, before we do the questions, I have to ask you a favor, Dave. So you're looking at your GoToWebinar screen there. Everybody, I'm not talking to you yet. This is just Dave right now. But Dave, can you see the questions over on the right-hand side? To see the little tab that points to questions?
Let me see here.
Because I want you to help me with the prize. That's why, everybody. I'm gonna make him
Okay.
work.
I
So
see
there
the
should be one that
attendees.
says questions.
I see attendees. I see chat.
It's further down, but if you don't see it, it's cool. I can do it without that. I just thought maybe
Yeah,
if you saw that.
Joni, it's not
Okay.
on mine for some reason.
Okay, no worries. All right,
Yeah.
then we'll just do it
Okay.
another way. Okay. All right,
Okay.
folks. So we've got 3 different questions. One of them is going to be for the Amazon gift card, and the other 2 are going to be for the consultations with Dave, which, as you know, after listening to this, are going to be absolutely invaluable. So I think I'm going to start with the second question. I've got a bunch of questions here. Okay, so I'm going to go with the 10th correct answer. So folks, you have to keyboard quickly. You see the questions area. I know you do see the questions area on the right-hand side of your screen. So you want to go ahead and answer it in that questions area as fast as you can, okay? I'm going to take the 10th correct answer to this question. Tell us 2 goals that you should have when designing your business card. Go. 2, not just 1.
Gotta be 2.
Yep, I'm seeing a lot of 1s. Okay, now folks, gotta be 2.
People are jumping at it.
I know. I know. Okay, we have a winner. Number 10,
All right.
correct answer is James. James and I'm not going to say your name right, and I don't want to mispronounce it. Missiglia? I'm not sure. It's probably such a beautiful name, and I'm going to mess it up, so I don't want to do that. But James, you're going to get an email, or you're going to get a notification from Dave about this, that you have won a consultation. And your answer was size, and use both sides of it as well. So that's a correct
Yeah.
answer, right, Dave? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Congratulations
Winner.
to you, James. All right, second one for another consultation. I'm going to take the 7th correct answer. Let me get these cleared off so I can, wow, you guys are good. I'm clearing all the correct answers out. It's killing me to do that. Okay, you ready? What is the one thing you can do to stand out when following up with a client? Go. Okay, we have a winner. The 7th correct winner. A lot of people got this right in different ways because there's a lot of different things you suggested. But postcards stuck out, I think, because a lot of people saw that. And April Dunshee. April, you have won a consultation with Dave. You are a lucky person. All right. So postcard was the answer. All right. So this next one is a little bit more difficult. Okay. It's going to be 3 items. 3. Okay. Not 1, not 2, but 3. All right, so I'm going to take since it's 3, I'm going to take the I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the third correct answer because it's three things. So you guys got to go
Good idea.
fast. Yeah. Okay. Ready, guys? Okay, here we go. Tell us three items on the Do You Stand Out checklist that is going to help assess areas of opportunity for yourself. I'm going to take the third correct answer, and it's got to be three of those items on that stand out checklist. So everybody's running to their phone to take a look at the picture they took. Okay, Elizabeth Barrow, you won. And that was a really quick, really good answer, Elizabeth. Her answer was, tell me if I'm right, since I already told her she won, social media presence, email signature, and unique business cards.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, Elizabeth, congratulations. You
Well
are the
done.
winner. You have won a $50 Amazon gift card, courtesy of the OG Family and Travel Professional News, and I will be sending that out to you within probably 20, 30 minutes. So you'll see that in your an email for you. So congratulations, everybody, and thank you all for listening so intently. That was wonderful. Everybody really got all the answers right to these, Dave. So you certainly did a great job with presenting this information, and I thank you for that.
Thank you, Joni. I appreciate it. And thank you, everybody who tuned in.
Yeah, absolutely. You everybody have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.